Scammers are getting smarter, and I learned that the hard way. What started as a small investment turned into a nightmare that cost me nearly everything. Today, I'm sharing my personal story of how I lost my entire investment to scammers. So it doesn't happen to you. I had always considered myself a cautious person with money. I wasn't the kind of guy who gambled away paychecks or poured money into shady ventures. But one thing about me was that I wanted more than just scraping by. I wanted security, freedom, the kind of life where bills didn't suffocate me every month. That's when the so-called investment opportunity appeared. It began innocently, like so many scams do. I saw an ad on social media. Clean, professional, and well-designed. It featured smiling people who claimed to have doubled their investments within months. The company boasted about being a global investment platform with offices in New York, London, and Dubai. They even had videos of supposed CEOs giving speeches at fancy conferences. Looking back, all of it was staged. At the time, I thought I had stumbled across my ticket to financial freedom. I signed up just to look around. Within hours, I received a phone call from a man with a calm, confident voice. He introduced himself as my personal financial advisor. He spoke with authority, dropping financial terms and showing me market charts on their website that looked authentic. He told me that people who invested early often saw massive returns. He made me feel like I was part of an exclusive club, like I was finally in on a secret the rich had been hiding. At first, I hesitated, but he reassured me by saying I could start small. I put in just $500. Within a week, the dashboard showed my account growing to $700. It was addictive to see those numbers climb. It made me believe this was real, that I was finally on the path to something bigger. Once I tasted that fake success, I wanted more. My so-called advisor would call me every few days, congratulating me on my smart decisions. He told me the $500 had been a great start, but if I wanted to see life-changing results, I needed to commit more. The pressure wasn't aggressive. It was subtle, the kind of persuasion that makes you feel like you're making your own choice. He said things like, "I don't want you to regret not taking advantage of this opportunity." People who hesitate usually miss out. I didn't realize it then, but he was playing psychological games with me. I invested another $2,000. My dashboard kept showing growth, climbing into the thousands. The interface even allowed me to withdraw small amounts. When I pulled out $200 successfully, my confidence skyrocketed. If I could withdraw, it must be real, right? That's how they got me. Over the next 3 months, I poured more and more money in. I stopped thinking of it as a risk and started thinking of it as my future. I liquidated part of my savings, dipped into my emergency fund, and even took out a small personal loan. Altogether, I invested nearly $30,000. On paper, my account showed over $80,000. I thought I had made the smartest decision of my life. Then one day, I tried to withdraw a large sum, $10,000. That's when things unraveled. When I clicked withdraw, the system prompted me with a new requirement, a tax clearance fee. My advisor called me instantly, explaining that international regulations required this small step before I could unlock large withdrawals. The fee was $5,000. My stomach dropped. It didn't make sense. Why would I need to pay money to access my own money? But he reassured me again. Don't worry, this is standard procedure. Once you pay it, you'll be able to access your full balance. I wired the money. Then came another email. Due to anti-money laundering checks, we require a verification deposit of $7,000. That's when I knew something was terribly wrong. I argued with my advisor, but his tone shifted from friendly to firm. He reminded me how much money was waiting in my account. He even threatened that if I didn't comply, I could lose everything. I refused to pay. The next time I tried logging into my account, it was gone. The website simply didn't exist anymore. The phone numbers stopped working. My emails bounced back. Everything vanished overnight. I sat in front of my computer in shock, staring at the blank screen. In total, I had lost $35,000. Nearly every cent of my savings. The hardest part wasn't just the money. It was the shame. How could I, a rational person, fall for something like this? I didn't tell my family right away. I was too embarrassed, too broken. When I finally reported it, the authorities said these scams were common. The scammers were often overseas, operating from fake offices, using stolen identities. Chances of recovering my money were slim to none. Hearing that felt like a death sentence. In the weeks that followed, I spiraled. My dreams of buying a home, starting a business, securing my future, All of it was gone. But slowly, I began to heal. I started sharing my story, not because it made me feel better, but because I didn't want anyone else to go through what I did. I realized scammers prey on hope. They know how to make you believe in something bigger, and they twist it until they've drained everything from you. I lost my investment to scammers, yes, but I refused to lose my voice. If telling this story keeps even one person from falling into the same trap, then maybe my pain wasn't for nothing. If you found this story helpful or eye-opening, please consider sharing it with someone who might be at risk. The more people know about these scams, the harder it becomes for scammers to succeed. And if you've experienced something similar or want to share your story to help others, send it to us at the email in the description below. You might save someone from falling into the same trap. Michael Mitnick, where we expose scammers their lies. So you can stay safe, kindly like, share, and subscribe.